Flosstube. I'm Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. It is Wednesday, June 5th. It's a miracle. I know the date. Hopefully this won't be too long. This will be my last big update leading up to, my last video leading up to Stitchcon. And it's my first video since the Mirabilia retreat last month. So I have a lot to say, but most of, just a little bit of shop stuff. So I'm going to get all that done first. First, for those in the Fabric of the Month, you know when I mailed it, excuse the whining, my beagle's being annoying. Poor Bubba's, it's hard to be him. So those of you who are in my Fabric of the Month probably got the update that, because of the Mira retreat, Fabric of the Month for May was shipping in the first week of June. And so I am done dyeing it. I am working my way through pressing it. I am taking a break from pressing to talk to you guys. So I am going to get back to that. But the color is really pretty. It is called Celine, and I don't have the linen right in front of me. I only have the Lagana and the Jobelin. I don't know why. So this is what it looks like on Jobelin, or on Lagana. It's a pale lavender with some deeper blues mixed in. Here is this is the Jobelin. And then this is the Ada, and the linen's darker like this as well. It's just, I don't know where the one piece that I had over here went, but it just left me. So I'm trying to get that pressed. As soon as it's all pressed, I can stick it in envelopes and get it on the way. I just also got, I think it came Monday night. I thought it was going to come last week and it ended up coming Monday. The box of new Nor Corbett Pixies. So I need to inventory that box, and I will inventory that box and get it moved out. I do have a new color. Thank you to Carrie for suggesting it, and to Kenny for naming it, because I was a blank. It's this really dark brown. It's like I took tiramisu and just darkened it a bit. Kenny suggested the name Sambhar. So this is the linen. It's a really nice neutral. This is the Lagana. You can see this particular piece has a dye spot, so that'll go in the jewels pile for the next jewels sale. This is the Jobelin. And this is the Ada. So the Ada, this particular piece of Ada has some darker and lighter spots. It's meant to have a little modeling, not a lot, but a little. So, and Carrie asked me to dye that because she and I are both embarking on the mystery map stitch along from Ink Circles. Starts in a couple of weeks. The pattern was $25. Grab my picture. It's called the Mysterious Adventure Project, or Map Project. And instead of giving you floss colors, she just gave you some suggestions. So she said you need black or a dark outlining color, medium and light gray and white, 2 shades of brown to be coastline, and I think I picked these to be my coastline shades. Plus a different brown in a tan, which I didn't pick. I was waiting to see if I needed maybe a darker or a lighter, just to kind of look at the pattern for that one. 3 shades of blue of one family to be your coastline color, or to be your ocean blues. So these are the 3 I picked. And then 1 separate blue, so I pulled this blue. A plum, so I didn't know if it needed to be dark or light, so I pulled 2 different plums, and we'll see where I go with those. At least 3 greens, and I just kind of grabbed at random. There we go. A medium gold, a yellow, and a terracotta. So my medium gold, I chose 782. Yellow is 744, and then for the terracotta, I grabbed 3778. 2 shades of red, so I have a couple of shades of red, and then it said either a light red or a pink, and I grabbed a rosy pink because I thought it would go with everything. And then, like I said, I gotta pull the black and the white out of my stash. So it's gonna be set in like 6 parts, 7 parts it looks like. Borders, coastlines, and stuff. But the thing that's interesting about the project is that you determine your coastlines and stuff by rolling dice. So Carrie and I went to go see Jimmy Buffett this weekend. We had a great time this past weekend. And we went to 3 Stitches in Spring, Texas. And then we also went to a Dragon Slayer dice shop. So these are the dice I bought. I don't know why I bought dice. I used to be into D&D, so I'm sure I have dice somewhere. But I like the idea of buying them fresh for this project. So mine are kind of reddish gold. And I liked that because it matches some of the colors I pulled. But also, this weekend I went ahead and I made myself a little drawstring bag for my dice. And you can see I made it out of the Marauders matte fabric. On the back it says. Because I thought that went with a Mysterious Adventure packet pretty well. This is one of my first sewing projects on my new sewing machine that I got at the Mirabilia Retreat. And it's got some flaws, but I like it. I also made myself a matching Q snap cover. So, there is that. Sorry. Ugh. I'm drinking a local beer. It's made in Texas. It says it's brewed in with Texan heart and Australian soul, because I believe the owners of this brewery are from Australia, but they are in Houston, Texas. And it's called Platypus Brewing, and the beer is called Freckled Dingo. And I bought this at a bottle shop when we were in Houston this weekend, and when we were just chatting up the manager, he had some of their glasses, so he gave me one of their glasses, and I love it. Proper glassware. Okay, so let me do my stitching finishers first. I have a couple of them, and then I have my whips, and then, like I said, we went to Spring this week, so I have some stash to show. Not a lot, but a little bit. So the first thing I stitched was this little tart tin. I believe she said she was going to call this Medusa. This was designed by Becky Noland of Lucy Beam. Oh, a fly. Lucy Beam, Love and Stitches. She did it as a project for the Mira Retreat, and then she's going to release it soon, I believe. It's stitched on Chesapeake Bay, Opal Belfast, and she let me pick the colors. She just sent me the chart and said, you can pick the colors. So I went kind of crazy. The hair is done with Bejeweled, and the body is done with Really Tealy. And then, like, some of the new DMC colors are in it as well. And then the trim is called Sea Glass by Lady Dot Creates. And I finished this in a way so that it can be popped out. So this is the tin by itself. And then I did it and put foam on the back. And you could glue it in or you could pop, but I did it so that if you wanted to change out what was in the tin, you could. I'm thinking about gluing a magnet to the foam so it can be kind of just sucked in there. But yeah, so I need to mail that to Becky soon. And then a couple minutes ago, I finished this little Boras Embroidery freebie. It is on their website. This is on Autumn. I think it's just a scrap of Belfast. Yeah, it's Belfast. I just used whatever was sitting on my stitch table. So I think the gold is brandied pear. The leaves are 4-leaf clover. And the wood and the darker brown and the darker owl are Wood Trail. Gentle Arts Wood Trail. So I'm going to finish this into something little for the Stitchcon Smalls Exchange. Now, I just started this for myself because Carly posted that she had finished it, and I was like, I have to do that. So this is You Had Me at Flamingo by Hands On Designs. I am not going to do the letters across the top. I'm just going to do, and I just pulled colors that I had in my stash. So I think this is Carrie Berry, and this is Azalea, and then I pulled a couple others that were just, pinks from my stash. So, And the fabric I'm stitching it on is Anya Opal Edinburgh. So Opal 36 count. So pink on pink on pink. I'm in a pink phase right now. And I don't know why. And this is the last thing I've been working on lately. More pink. So there you go. It is Aqua Marina from Bella Filipina. This is on 36 count Amphitrite from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I'm really liking it so far. So there we go. Okay. So stash. Oh, I have one more. I've been doing more sewing projects than I made these little fabric and pattern weights. They're just little bean bags. I just did them with they're made with flannel so they don't slip. And they're filled with BBs, so I think each one weighs about a pound. So they do have some weight to them. And I made 6, 3 in each of these like 3 of each print here. So blue and narwhals, because narwhals make me happy. Alright, so let's see, before I get into stash, I want to talk a little bit about Stitchcon. Carrie and I are coming together with our friend Allie. Allie's in California. I will have little goodies for people there. I have some corner squares and some thread keeps and some highlighters and stickers and stuff from Under the Sea Fabrics I'm going to be giving away. I've thought about just giving them to Barb and having her distribute them to everyone, but what I think I'm going to do is they're doing the passport again this year where there's a trivia question about people who watched Flosstube, and so if you watch my Flosstube and you can answer the trivia question, you need to come find me and I give you a stamp for your passport. Well, in conjunction, you'll also get a little gift from me, so it might be, you know, a thread keep, and it might be a, like I said, a highlighter, I don't know, something Under the Sea Fabrics. And the way I'm doing it is I've got like a little bag, like a drawstring bag, and it is filled with little poker chips, blank colored poker chips that ironically I bought for the Mira retreat, but I'm going to use them for this first. And so what color poker chip you pull out of the bag will determine what prize you get. So that's how I'm going to do it. And hopefully I give out a lot of goodies, and hopefully a lot of people get the trivia question right. Fingers crossed. Okay, stash. So I have a few things. First, I finally got my order from Boras Embroidery. You can see, this is the first thing I got was this chart. I believe it's called Bluebirds, something Bluebird Forest, I don't know. But I really like that. I didn't order the kit, I just ordered the chart. It comes in an envelope like this with the picture on the front, the chart inside. Second, I did order a kit. I ordered, I believe this is called Underwater Garden. This is what it looks like. And I have not opened this yet, so let's see. Everybody watching this should be going, Leslie, don't hurt yourself, because I am capable. I like burnt my hand last one. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the first thing I see are the colors, and they're really pretty. So, I really like that blue right there. And then a little card. This is the needle and needle minder it came with. It has a little goldfish on it. It came with a piece of baby blue Belfast. It said it was Belfast linen. I will probably use one of my own fabrics and then just put this in my stash. Just label it Baby Blue Belfast and throw it in my stash for use at a later date. And then the chart. The charts are big. You see. And they're colorful. So yeah. I don't use bobbins, but I'm glad that they give the bobbins because they mark the bobbins with the thread symbols. So that's what one of their kit looks like when you get them. I'm gonna put this away. I don't think I'm gonna start this anytime soon. I still haven't finished the whale, so why would I start it anytime soon, right? Okay, next. Tracy's gonna make fun of me for this. She's been making fun of me for this since I told her about it a few days ago. I don't think it was on Flosstube, because I admit I don't watch a lot of Flosstube. I troll a lot of Instagram and Facebook. But that someone has started using flat iron to flat iron their floss. And I have done nothing but deal with knots, especially on hand-dyed cottons. It seems like for months. Every piece of hand-dyed cotton I have pulled off of a skein has knotted to the point that it needs to be cut. When I was working on that Little Mermaid, I think I ended up using probably, you know, an extra 2 or 3 strands of floss that I didn't need to use because I was cutting knots out. So I said, well, I'm not going to go out looking for a flat iron. That seems stupid. But also, you know, if I find one, you know, I figured if I found one at like TJ Maxx or something, I would buy it. Well, when we were in Houston this weekend, I went to, our hotel had a Goodwill, like in the same parking lot, and I cannot resist a Goodwill. So I wandered all the way over this Goodwill, like from, like in a huge circle around the Goodwill, and so I was like, well, there's nothing I want to buy, so that's just as well. So I was heading out to the front, and like the checkout counter was to the left of the door, with like the cabinets with what they consider the nicer stuff. So it'll have like, if there's a designer purse or fancy dishes or whatever. And I always look through that because sometimes they have Fiesta wear, and I collect Fiesta wear. So I was looking through it, and right next to it was a little card table with a display of Chi mini hair straighteners in the box. So they were in the box. They were tiny. That's what I like, that it's mini. It's not a big hair straightener. Also, you see it doesn't have a cord. It's rechargeable. So I like that too, because then if I do decide to take it to a retreat, I can charge it in my room. I don't have to have it sitting there plugged in. Because honestly, I just turn it on long enough to do this and then turn it off. So, I'm not straightening. It also has a car charger. I don't know that I will need the car charger. But this was $7.99. And then I got, you know, I had my military ID, so I also got a military discount. So, $7.30 or whatever with tax. And I went online and looked at this thing, and it sells for like $50. And I was like, well, that's not too bad. So I would not have tried it if I hadn't found a cheap straightener. But the Goodwill in Houston had, you know, 2 or 3 dozen of them for $7 in this box. So silly. Tracy made fun of me for it, but I haven't had to deal with the knot since on either of those two, that Flamingo or that little owl project, since I started. And as much as I love my owl forest embroidery, that whale has the knots in the thread have been giving me fits. So I haven't tried it on those yet, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it helps. So lastly, I have a few things that I bought when I was at spring. You saw my dice set. Love this. Next, I bought this little pin that says Floss Boss. I bought a little bag at TJ Maxx or something, and it's one of those Ray Dunn bags, which I didn't know who Ray Dunn was or that was a thing, but I bought this little bag because it says Stash on it. So it's completely white with the word Stash across the front, and of course I had to buy that. And I've thought about using it for my mystery box for the Mira retreat next year, and I keep thinking, no, I think I want to keep it for myself. But I think I've got this Floss Boss pin, and I have a couple other little pins like this, and I'm going to pop them on the front of that bag. I bought this really pretty piece of gingham So I am addicted to gingham linen. I don't stitch on it much, but I love the way it looks. And Weeks Dye Works makes some, but I don't love their fabrics. So when I see them at stores, when I see gingham at stores, I buy it. So I showed y'all last time or the time before, I bought a huge piece of blue gingham that felt like Lugana. This is a linen, and it's celery colored. It's called Riviera Gingham in celery and white. So I bought a fat quarter of that. I'm just going to put it in my stash. It's going to live there, and at some point I'll say, hey, I want to stitch something with gingham. I like stitching on under the sea fabrics as long I plan to stitch on under the sea fabrics as long as I own the business. So, but that's just something else. So, alright, and this last thing. This was kind of a unicorn chart for me. I loved it when I saw it come out last year. It is Sarah Brazier, 1829, by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I don't know that I will start it. It is a thick chart. Look, that is thick. It has a lot of pages. Also, it calls for Soy d'Alger, and I think I'm going to use Belle Soie instead. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. Just because. But I love this. The only thing I don't care for is the quote. It says, boast not thyself or of tomorrow, for showeth not what a day bring forth. So I was joking I might put something really dirty on there. It's such a, the whole thing is so big and intricate, and the quote is so small. I could put something, you know, like I could put something small and kind of wacky in as the quote, and nobody would know the difference because it's so small compared to the whole thing. Well, I think that's it. So if you come see me at Stitchcon, if you can figure out the little, I'm sure it won't be hard to figure out whatever the trivia question is, and I will give you goodies. I will be there all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I think me and Carrie decided we're only going to be there a half day Sunday. We're going to spend Sunday afternoon in Dayton, hanging out with some of my Ohio friends. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you next month.